Hello everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to show you how to crochet these little puff stitch flowers. This video is going to be for those who need a quick refresher on how to make these, but if you're an absolute beginner and you're looking for a slower tutorial where I show each stitch step by step, I will leave it in this corner above or in the description box below. I made that video a couple of weeks ago, and that one is meant for absolute beginners. It is a little lengthy, but that's because I do show it very slowly. But again, this video is for people who need a refresher. So for this tutorial, you're going to need a hook of your choice and a yarn of your choice. I am using a category 4 yarn and a 5mm crochet hook, and you can also use a darning needle. If you don't have a darning needle, as always, you can still use your hook to weave in your ends at the end. And you're also going to be needing a pair of scissors, but that's all you're going to be needing, so let's go ahead and begin. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start off with the center of our petal, so the middle part right here. And you can start that off however you'd like. Some people like to chain 4, slip stitch into the first chain, and work into the center. Some people like to do the magic ring. Some people like to do the slip knot. You can work the beginning however you'd like, but I'm going to start off with a slip knot. So go ahead and make your slip knot. Grab your hook. And I'm going to go ahead and start off with a chain of 2. So go ahead and chain 2. And into this very first chain, I'm going to go ahead and do 6 single crochets. So the amount of petals that we're going to be having is 6 petals, so each stitch is going to count for one of these petals. So if you want to make 5 petals, go ahead and do 5 single crochets, but I'm going to do 6. So into the very first chain that we made, I'm going to do 6 single crochets. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then into the very first stitch that you've made, go ahead and just slip stitch. And then there you have the center of your flower. And now we're going to go ahead and work on the petals. To start working on the petals, go ahead and chain 2. And now what we're going to do is we're going to yarn over into the same place that we did our slip stitch. We're going to yarn over, insert our hook a total of 6 times. So we've just chained 2, so now I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into the exact same stitch where I slip stitched, grab yarn, pull up, and I'm going to make sure I pull the yarn all the way up so that the yarn is just as tall as my chain 2 stitches, because this is going to be the height of our flower. So I just yarned over and pulled through once. We're going to do that a total of 6 times. So this is going to be our second time. Yarn over, insert your hook into that exact same stitch, grab yarn, pull up for a total of 2 times, and make sure you pull your yarn all the way up to the same exact height. Now for 3, yarn over, into that same spot, grab yarn, pull through. Now for 4, yarn over, insert your hook, grab yarn and pull through. And now for 5, yarn over, insert your hook into that exact same spot, grab yarn, pull up. And now for our very last one, the 6th one, I'm going to go ahead and yarn over, insert my hook into that exact same spot, grab yarn, and pull up for a total of 6. Okay, so you'll have all of these loops on your hook. And now what you want to do is you want to yarn over and pull this yarn through all of these stitches. So yarn over, I'm going to turn my hook downwards, and I'm going to just pull that through all of them. And then we're going to finish this petal off by chaining 1. Okay, and then this is how the first petal looks like, and we're going to finish it off by chaining 2 more. So yarn over, turn your hook downwards and pull it through, yarn over, pull through. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and slip stitch into the next stitch in our circle. So we just made this petal into the very first stitch. Now we're going to work into the second one. So into the very next stitch, we're going to slip stitch, and then we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to repeat the same thing that we did with the first petal. So I'm just going to go ahead and verbally say it again, how to do each petal in case you want to pause and do them on your own. So all we do is we chain 2, we're going to yarn over and pull through this exact 1 stitch a total of 6 times, finish off by chaining 3, and then slip stitching into the next one and then repeating it all around. I will show it a couple more times, but that's how you do it. So chain 2, yarn over and pull through the same place where you slip stitched a total of 6 times, and then chain 3, slip stitch into the next one, and repeat all around. Okay, so we've just chained 2. We're going to go ahead and yarn over and pull through 6 times. So yarn over into the stitch that we slip stitched into, grab yarn and pull through, and make sure to pull your yarn all the way up so we have the exact same height as our chain. We're going to go ahead and yarn over for a second time, insert your hook, grab yarn and pull up for 2, yarn over, insert, pull through for 3, yarn over, insert, pull through for 4, yarn over, insert, pull through for 5, and last one, yarn over, insert, pull through for 6. Okay, and you should have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 loops on your hook. Okay, and now to finish off, we're going to yarn over. I'm going to turn my hook downwards, and then I'm going to pull through all of these loops that were on my hook. Then I'm going to chain 3. So yarn over, pull through, that's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. Okay, we just worked this into 1 stitch. Now we're going to go ahead and move that to the side and find our next stitch and slip stitch into it. Okay, and now we're moving on to petal number 3. Again, start off with a chain 2, yarn over and insert and pull through a total of 6 times into the same place where we slip stitched. So yarn over, insert, grab yarn, pull up all the way for 1, do it again for 2, and then 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then I'm just going to finish off again by yarning over, turning my hook downwards, and pulling through all of the loops. Then I'm going to finish off with a chain of 3, move this to the side, find my next stitch in my circle, insert, and slip stitch. Okay, and that is how you make your petals. You can go ahead and follow that pattern all the way around until you get to the very last petal. Again, we're going to start off with a chain of 2. We're going to yarn over, insert our hook into the same place where we slip stitched, and grab yarn a total of 6 times. And then after you're done, you're going to yarn over, pull through all of the loops on your hook, chain 3, and then slip stitch into the next stitch. And I will go ahead and work until I get to my last flower, where I will show you how to finish off this flower. Okay, and I will meet you when I'm done. Okay, I have one more petal to do. I've just slip stitched and chain 2. I'm going to do my last 6 of my yarn over, insert, and pull throughs. Five and 6. Okay, then I'm going to yarn over, turn my hook downwards, pull through all of them as we've been doing, then chain 3 as usual. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to just push this petal to the side and find this little section right here. So we've already worked into all 6 of our single crochets that we've already worked on, and we still have this one little space that is a little pretend stitch, and we're just going to go ahead and slip stitch into that. So insert your hook, grab yarn, and just slip stitch. And then you want to finish off with a chain of 1. Grab your scissors, and then pull the yarn through with your hook. Okay? And then this is how you make your puff stitch flower. And then if you want, you can pull on the strand that's attached to the center of your circle, and if you pull it slightly, the center loop should tighten a little bit. It does tighten a lot more if you started with the magic ring method, but with this, you can pull on it and the circle does tighten just slightly. Okay? And now to make it look prettier, what you want to do is you want to find your front side, which is the side that we've been working on. The back side looks like it's a lot more puffy, but what you can do is you can just push the puffiness upward like so, and do that for all of your petals. And then there you have your little puff stitch flower. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and sew in the ends. If you have just your hook and not a darning needle, what you can do is where your yarn is attached, you can go ahead and insert your hook through the loops that are near that yarn. So this petal is closest to this strand of yarn. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hook and I'm going to push it through these loops of the petal, okay, like so. And I've only pushed them through the back side. Make sure you're sewing them in on the back side too. So this is the front. As you can see, where I pushed my hook through, you can't see it in the front because I'm only pushing it through the back loops. Okay, then you just grab your yarn that you want to sew in and you pull it through those 3 strands of yarn. And you do that a couple of times until your yarn is tucked in enough. So just push through, grab yarn like you normally would in your crochet projects and pull through. I'm going to do that just one more time and pull through. Okay, then you can just snip off your excess yarn. Make sure don't accidentally snip off your petal yarn. Okay, and then for the other one, you can just go ahead and grab a darning needle if you have one. I'm gonna attach my yarn, and I'm gonna do the exact same thing where I'm gonna make sure that I'm sewing it in on the back side of the flower, not the front side. I'm just gonna push my darning needle through a couple of the loops of the flower, a couple of times, like so, and then you can just snip off the excess yarn. And then again, all you have to do is push the petals up slightly, like so, and there you have your little puff stitch flower. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any suggestions of anything you'd like to see next, please let me know. Also, if you have anything you would like to say about improvements for future videos, let me know those as well, because I do take them seriously and I want to make sure that my videos are easy for everybody to follow. So again, I hope you enjoyed today's video and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!